This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, thank you. So hi everyone. Could you please confirm you're able to hear this, getting the voice? Okay, are you able to see the screen, and could you please confirm are you getting the things? Okay. So let's start today's session. So what we discussed yesterday, we started the tool called Kubernetes, right? So the Kubernetes is an orchestration tool, right? So, and also we have seen what are the different components we have, and right. So we have discussed about the each component understanding, right? So there not only Docker in the market, there are other orchestration, other containerization tools like Rocket, uh, Runc, Containerd, right? These all are right containerization tools, and there are different orchestration tools for orchestrating your containers in different nodes, right? So we have this Docker Swarm, but Docker Swarm will support only Docker. And we have a Kubernetes, and Kubernetes having many features, right? So the Kubernetes is supporting not only Docker, it is supporting different orchestration and different containerization tools. So coming to the Kubernetes, so the main advantage of Kubernetes is it is open source, right? One main advantage is open source. That means everyone can download, everyone can install. So what we're going to see, so today we're going to create, okay, a cluster, okay, going to create a cluster of two of two worker nodes, okay, and two worker nodes, and we will create a one master. Okay, let me connect to my AWS account. Let me connect to my AWS account, and I would like to sign into the console. Okay, so this is my EC2. Terminate those. I will recreate firstly. Okay, so we have seen the components. What are the different components we have in the Kubernetes? So the Kubernetes architecture also we have discussed. The component users also we have discussed. So the combination of this master and the worker nodes, we can call it as a cluster, right? So what we are going to see now, we'll create two worker node servers, one master node server. Okay, so right, so the we will take three Ubuntu servers. Okay, we'll take three Ubuntu servers, and we will try to install Ubuntu servers, three Ubuntu servers. Just launch the instance. Yeah, this is your Kubernetes. Okay. So later we can rename it, and I would like to take Ubuntu, right? So I would like to go with some 20.04 version. Okay, and key pair I already have this, but I want to create a new one. So test K8 K8 Kubernetes, right? Just create it. So remaining all okay, okay, and some 50 GB. Okay, so three Ubuntu servers, three, and okay. So this is the setup file I will share with you. So you need to take right 4 GB RAM master and the worker node. Desktop. Yeah, two worker nodes. Okay, no problem. One master. So total three Ubuntu servers. Right. So Ubuntu servers container D as a runtime. That means in place of Docker, we are using container D. Okay. So let's try to do that. So here I mentioned the commands like so you need to perform the below 7 steps inside. Okay, inside the master and the worker nodes. Okay, worker. So so these commands up to 7 commands you have to run it in the both master and worker, and only master side you need to run this because these commands will helpful to execute or create a cluster. So this is for cluster setup, this is for Kubernetes installation. Okay, and yeah, this for creating some basic application. Okay, simple application. So we can see that later. Let's try to, yes, so connect to the master. Our servers are ready. Okay, this is one I would like to name it as Kubernetes master it is. And this one is worker node. So we can name it as this worker one. And I would like to name this one is worker two. Okay. Me connect to that. So let me connect to the, let's see the security group level. So let's connect to it. So actually, Kubernetes is running on different ports. Okay, instead of opening each port, what I want to do, I want to open all, but we can discuss what are the important ports for the Kubernetes. Okay, I hope you are getting. So what we are doing, we are opening all the ports. Okay, let's try to connect to the master first. So it takes some time still initialization. So Wait a second. So something, yeah, here missed in that. So, so the problem with this region, some maybe the student is deleted the regions. So let me go to any other region. The region is the issue. Kubernetes and Ubuntu 3.4 version, and the key pair I want to create it. Some launch it 50 GB and create it. Yeah, this is master, right? So master server it is. This is worker one. This is some worker two. Okay, and security group level. Let's open the right, edit inbound rule. So instead of opening one by one, I want to open all. So let's go to all traffic and anywhere and save that. Right. So now we are good to connect. So let's select this master, click on connect and SSH client, copy this command. Disconnect because this VPC is not having any issue in this region. Maybe some entries are deleted. Anyway, let's make it as a root user. Right. So change the host name is master. Okay. And also edit the main file. So permanent change. Okay. This is master. Right. So okay. So this is your master. So let's connect to the worker nodes. So I want to connect to the one server first. The other one you can do that because same configuration, same commands you should run in worker 2 as well. So that's why I want to mention I want to connect only worker one. So worker 2, you can take it as an assignment, you can do that. Okay. So actually in the organization, you don't get a chance to create this cluster, but for your practical purpose, so you are doing this. Okay. So this is master. Okay, and let's connect to the worker. This is command. So just make the host name is, so I want to connect. Let's just make it as a root user and provide the host name. Worker 1 it is, okay? Worker 1. And change the host name, worker, right? So this is worker 1, this is master. So now we have set of commands to install it. So what we are doing, so these are common for master on worker nodes, right? These commands are common, and we are trying to, right? We are trying to do this switching user to root, yes, to run main commands, right? So we are trying to swap off the memory to you Kubernetes to use the space. So we are swapping off, okay, and we are making the fstab file. This is file system file, okay. We are adding this swap. That means within the RAM size, we are keeping some part for Kubernetes for future use, okay. So both side you have to know, because I mentioned here already, right? So we need to, right, we need to turn off swap in both these commands, both for worker and master. And we have to update your packages, and we have to install prerequisite package called apt transport protocol https. Just update it, and here also you have to update. Also you have to update it, right? So yes, and also you have to install this important dependency package. So install both sides, master side and worker side. Just click on enter, click on enter. And then you can, if you want to install this Kubernetes, you need to, okay, you need to add that Kubernetes, Kubernetes uh, configuration, configuration document, I mean configuration links to this server using this URL. So you have to add these packages, okay. So you have to take these three commands, and you have to run it both side, then only you can install it Kubernetes, okay. So now you can try to update the repository again, and after that you can install it the Kubernetes. Just update it, because you added latest repository having Kubernetes links, right? So it is updating. So now you can install kubelet. What is kubelet? Is a command line interface. So I mean the kubelet is a component in the this Docker worker node, I mean the worker node, right? So which will interact with your master. Kubelet will look for this master always, okay. So, and the KubeADM is administration tool. So using KubeADM only, you can create a cluster, you will manage the cluster. And containerd is nothing but your runtime like Docker. And kubectl is a command line interface where you can execute the Kubernetes commands, okay. So you're installing these packages. So in the organization, those will already installed, okay, but for practice purpose, we are installed. right? So we install the Kubernetes packages, kubeadm 1.25, runs the 11 1.1, kubectl 1.25, right? So just note down these three. So we installed runs the kubectl, and also we installed yes, kubeadm, right? So just note down, install these main, just note down. Right, so let's try to do that now. So the continuation. So if you want to install Kubernetes, yes, we have done these settings as of now. And containerd we are using. So containerd related modules, if you want to install, you have to run this command. So we are enable the main configuration file of containerd, and let's use this command, both master and worker. Okay, and after that we have to set up the kernel settings. Okay, to use to open the ports IP through IP tables, and through opening the kernel settings for the using Kubernetes in this current kernel version. So once you did this, okay, once you did the kernel settings, you can do to use systemctls command to make applicable these commands we're applying. So here also you have to update. Right. So finally, so you have to configure the containerd. So you have to create a containerd folder and config YAML file. Okay, just finally you can start your Kubernetes services. Just start it. So this the demand load means it will reload all the services. It will start the Kubernetes. You are starting kubelet. Enable means so after reboot also your Kubernetes commands will be running. Okay, just try to do this. Building, it's starting the Kubernetes and enabling the Kubernetes. Right. Now it is done. So this is master, this is worker. Worker side, all the configuration done, right? So, and try to do the master side cluster initialization. So to initialize a cluster, you can use kubeadm. Init is a command. So this is only master side we will do. Only master end we will do this cluster creation. Just run kubeadm init. Okay. The number of available CPU is less than required. Okay. So I didn't taken 2 GB RAM, so 4 GB RAM I didn't changed. So let me change that. So let me uh, stop this server, and what I will do, I will change the t2.micro to t2.medium, right? So which will have only 4 GB and 2 core CPU. Okay. So let me stop this and change the instance type. So how we can change? We can go to instance settings, and we have instance, right? Instance settings. We have change instance type option. We can change. Yeah, now it is stopped. Let's try to change it. Just select the server and you change instance settings. Go to T2 dot medium and apply. So now it is changed to T2 dot medium. Let's start the server. Click on start. Sandeep, you're joining, but we don't have your email ID. Could you please share it over chat? Did you join yesterday, Sandeep?
Yeah, I will share, Raju.
Okay. I mean, management will provide drive access if you are enrolled into the course. If you're not enrolled, yeah, they will. Yeah, you can check with them for drive access. I mean, the class notes.
Sure, sure.
So now you can run kubeadm init. It will work. It will not throw any error. Just let me connect to the root user. Let's try to run kubeadm. Right? It is trying to configure or pulling all the images required for the Kubernetes. Okay. It will take some time for initializing the cluster. Right. So Hi Kumar, could you please check with management? So they will share all the notes and all the material. Okay. So those who are not enrolled as of now, okay, you can check with management and collect it. Okay. Right. So we have initialized the cluster, right? So it downloaded required configuration files, right? And also here it is show that the initialization is successful, right? And you have these commands to start the cluster. You have to initialize. So this as a normal user or a root user, not a problem. So you have to create your main .cube config file under your home directory. Your home directory is nothing but okay root. Okay, so slash root. Okay, so you can use slash. and this is the main config file under Kubernetes, but you are copying it to root config folder. Okay, and we are providing, so IDU is nothing but your ID of the current user. So root user current ID, user ID, and this is group ID. So we are providing ownership permission for the current user to this config folder. Okay, just run these commands. Okay, not a problem. You can run all. Okay. Yes. And you can provide the ownership permission. Right. So now the Kubernetes cluster is initialized, and how we can get that using kubectl. Kubectl is helpful to run the commands. Kubectl get nodes is the command. Here you can see only master. Currently status is not ready, and the role is control plane. We can say control plane or we can say master. Okay, there are two names. We can say master or we can say control plane. Right. So it can be a master or a control. Okay, so so here you have the command called kubeadm join. Okay, and the one port here we are using kubeadm, right? So here we are trying to join. This is your token ID to connect any worker. So if you want to join any worker to your cluster, okay, you have to run this command. You have to take this and go to your worker node. This is your worker node, and you can run it. Right. So now it is successfully joined. This node has joined to the cluster, right? So you can run kubectl get nodes is the command to see that in your control plane. Okay, just run here kubectl get nodes. You can see your worker node is also added, right? So the worker node is also added, right? So what commands we have run in the master now? As of now, these are the commands we have run. So right. So we just changed the host name, right? And we swap up the memory, right? And we updated the packages, right? And we are trying to install the prerequisite transport package, and we added the URLs, right? So so we added the URLs, and after that Kubernetes URL to the repository, and after that we are trying to update the package again, right? And after that we are trying to install kubeadm kubelet, right? These packages, right? And we are doing some configuration commands, right, related to the containerd modules, and yeah, these are also to containerd only. And after that we are doing some running some commands related to the IP tables and kernel settings, and we did some configuration module related changes in the containerd. So the module related changes to the containerd, right? So these commands you should run in both master and worker, right? So almost 40 plus commands, right? So you have to run these commands in master side and worker side, okay? And these commands you should run only at the master, only master. So these you should run in both master and worker. I will share this file with management. You can collect it from them. So, but here, if you see, if you see this kubectl get node command, right? So you are seeing that, okay. not ready. You're seeing that not ready. So why it is not ready here? Okay, right. You have to start some networks. Okay, you have to start some networks. For that, you have to run this applying the behavior network, cloud behavior network. Okay, so you can run this command. So then only the networking will be resolved. The pod issue, the core DNS, okay, will be resolved. Okay, you can take this command and you can run only masters. Okay, not a problem. Let's shift that. All parts run except one code DNS. For this, we have to install pod network. Right. If you want to see the cluster information, you can run this command. Just note down. If you want to see the nodes, you can run this command. You can see your control plane is running on this IP 172.31.35. Right. So your control plane is nothing but your master. Okay, this is your master IP address. You can see same IP, and the control plane is running on which port? 644. Okay, instead of opening each one, we are opening all ports in the security group. And this is your core DNS. That means your networking related. Okay, so if you want to debug your cluster, you can run this command. Okay, and this is your Kubernetes version 1.25.4. So just note down these two commands, cluster info, right? So this cluster info command and the kubectl get nodes command. Yeah, we can fix it, that issue here. Yeah. We have to upgrade actually the version. So let's see. So I'm upgrading with some one version. Yeah, 2.8.1. Good. So, yeah. Now if you see kubectl get nodes, okay, you may see the worker is come to ready state, right? And the master also will come to the ready state. Right, earlier not working because the networking is not configured. I configured it and by creating this Xavier network, right, with different roles, right, and like that. Okay. So our network settings are ready. Let's try to deploy simple okay, deploy simple nginx application. Nginx is nothing but a one web server. Okay, so you can run this command. So you can take this command and execute it. Yes, so what we are running? So we are trying to run a pod. Here, pod is nothing but in Kubernetes collection of containers. So collection of containers, we can say one pod it is. Okay, one pod is nothing but collection of containers. Okay, so nginx pod we are creating with the help of nginx image, and the port number is we are exposing 80 port. Okay, so just run it. So the nginx pod is created. Nginx pod is created, right? And you can expose the to if you want to if you want to access this nginx, okay, you can use some kubectl get pods is a command to see the pod is running. And if you want to see in which port it is running, kubectl container level it is 80 port, right? But the cluster level at a node level, okay, you have to check that kubectl gets svc services kubectl. So I mentioned 2 times, right? So you're not running anything. So you have to expose that application. So what are the nginx pod you have created? You have to expose it, the same port at node level also. You have to, now it is exposed. If you see kubectl services, node port level, it is exposed. This container level is 80 port, and the node level it is 3115. So you can take your node IP. So this is your worker one, take this IP address, right? So yes, so you don't need to open this 31152 because we opened already all the ports, right? So you have to provide it. Yes, you can see the nginx, right? So node level. So let's try with master IP also. This is master IP 31152, right? So 311, right? You can see nginx. So because the master also one of the worker node. So you open your node port, right? You are exposing your nginx at node. Okay, if you try with the master IP directly with 80, right? It will not 80 port, right? So not 80. You can't, right? You cannot access with 80, but because we expose the port 31152 at node level, 80 at cluster level, so you can use kubectl. svc is a command to create a, so just note down these commands. To create a no pod, you can use this command. To see the list of pods, you can use kubectl get pods. And to expose the application outside, you can use kubectl expose. If you want to see the exposed services, you can use kubectl get svc is a command. So these are the main commands. Just note down. Right. So just do this practice, and you can collect the this short copy from the management. Okay, so we can continue with the, okay, or you can go with our recording. Okay, so we'll take the class document also, you can take it. And what I will do, I will stop my servers for tomorrow class. You can follow it. So I will stop my servers. I will use it tomorrow. So any doubts, guys? Still we have some time. Yeah, please color this document for creating the Kubernetes cluster. Okay. We can meet tomorrow. Thank you.